Hello everyone, and welcome to the Bucket Drumming Activity Facilitation Guide. Today, we will give an overview of the steps to facilitate this activity and guide students to learn about changing water levels through music. Starting with the learning objectives, the goal of this activity is to sonically represent what the students learned about water levels in prior activities throughout the day. Sonic explorations create space for students to emotionally process the meaning of water events, like flooding or severe storms. By making musical sounds with bucket drums, students can experience an embodied understanding of how water levels change over time. Facilitators will lead the students in bucket drumming circles. Students will have the chance to both create their own beats and musically translate the changing water levels in a more structured way. The only equipment needed for this activity are buckets and pairs of drumsticks for each participant. This activity takes about 1 hour. Initial instructions and open play time should last about 15 minutes, 10 minutes for a large group warm-up, about 25 minutes for focused small group activities, and leave about 10 minutes for reflection time at the end. Before distributing drumsticks, discuss respectful drum use. Say phrases like "be gentle with sticks," or "treat the instrument with respect." Discuss ground rules as a group, like no drumming while others are talking, or follow the leader. Remember to review drum basics as seen on the right-hand side of this slide. Then we'll go into large group open play. Once drums are distributed, allow open play time for students to create their own beats. Then gather into a large circle to explore different sounds together as a warm-up. Let's play with the different sounds made by drumming different parts of the bucket. Try drumming with one stick on the rim and one stick on the top or the side, or try other combinations. This can be led by a facilitator or a student. Here's an example of what this may look like. Explore volume and speed. Drumming sounds can help us understand and embody changing water levels. In music, volume refers to sounds that are loud or quiet. Speed refers to sounds that are fast or slow. In science, volume measures the amount of space something takes up, like a big river or a small stream. Speed measures the rate of movement, like a rapid flood or a still pond. Explore water sounds. Move through different sound combinations with students, such as drum slow and quiet, drum fast and quiet, drum loud and slow, drum loud and fast. And think, how do these sounds connect to water? Next, we'll go into small group activities. After exploring sounds in the large group, divide into small groups of about 10 students to perform more focused activities. For example, if you had 60 students total, break out into about 6 small groups with one facilitator each. And remember, save time at the end for reflection. Let's use the bucket drums to make basic beats of 4 counts. Have one student create their own 4-count beat. Then, have the next student in the circle repeat the previous beat and add their own. Continue around the circle. Here's an example of what this may look like. Next activity, we make a rainstorm. Let's use the drums to replicate the sound of a thunderstorm. Scrape along the top with a drumstick. Tap lightly on the top, alternating left, right, fairly quickly. Tap with more force on the top, maintaining the same tempo. Hit the bucket on the side once to represent thunder. Continue tapping loudly on the top. Go around the circle 2 times with each action. Perform the actions in reverse to represent the storm moving away. Here's an example of what this might look like. Next, we'll work on the tide crescendo. Let's follow the conductor to orchestrate drumming sounds that represent the changing tide level. Facilitator can move their body to motion low and high. Low motion represents low tide and slow, quiet drumming. High motion represents high tide and fast, loud drumming. Then, invite a student to conduct the group. Practice this exercise multiple times. Facilitator can explain how drumming relates to flooding. Data can show the number of flood days per year. Drumming can help us understand and embody the changing amount of flood days. Connecting flood days and drum sounds can help us process the meanings of flooding and rising water levels. Here's the annual high tide flooding outlook. You can easily find data about the number of flood days per year for your community. Go to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration website shown below and search for the station nearest to your community. Then, you can save the data chart to use during the activity. Here's an example data chart that can be shared with students. It shows the annual flood days per year and increase in flooding over time. Now, let's orchestrate drumming sounds to represent flooding over time. In the past, flooding would occur a few days per year. Now, flooding occurs more often. The facilitator can move their body to motion low and high. Low motion represents a few days per year, and slow, quiet drumming. High motions represent several days per year, and fast, loud drumming. Practice this exercise multiple times. Here's what this might look like. After the small group activities, we'll go into reflection time. Allow time for reflection using the provided worksheets. And thank you for listening to the Bucket Drumming Activity Facilitation Guide.